What's going on, guys? My name's PLJU, and this is my first video on my channel. This is kind of just going to be used as kind of like a therapeutic thing, I guess you could say, for me, but kind of like as a guide for other guys my age, older, younger. For reference, I'm 27 years old, and I don't know. I feel like I grew up in this era of YouTube channels and, you know, videos on Modern Warfare 2 and how to get a cross-map noob tube, or how to tie a tie, or what is an index fund. And all these different videos came up for me and essentially served as the guide that I needed at certain times in my life. And so that's kind of what I'm doing this all for. Try to be that person for somebody else. Whether it's a video you could throw on in the background while you're gaming, or a video that you intently listen to and take notes on, or just a video that you use to just chill out in the car while you're driving. I feel like just having someone to listen to, and then obviously typing to afterwards in the comment section of a video, creates almost like a therapy session. I feel like it's very important to have the mental right in addition to the physical. And so that's kind of what this is all for. And one of our first topics that we're going to have on this channel is the pressure to have it figured out by 25. And like I said, my age is 27, but I feel like still kind of a similar deadline. But you ever feel like 25 is some kind of a deadline? Like there's this invisible timer over your head counting down. If you don't have your life together by this point, you've somehow failed. Like nobody officially tells you that, and there's no letter in the mail or a notification or an email that's saying you got to have it ready by 25. But it's definitely in the air, and it's something that's definitely on your back. I mean, this is far out of high school. This is a couple years out of college for a more common person that takes the more common route, I guess you could say. Um, and this is really when you're independent, you know, 25 years old. Man, 25 years old, I was starting my master's program for my PA degree, and I just got it, thankfully. But I feel like at that point, I was kind of like, what am I doing with my life? I'm seeing people on social media at 23 and 24 doing affiliate marketing, making an absolute boatload of money every single month. Or I look at some of my guys that went to the more, I guess these days, non-traditional route into HVAC or the trades, making Hugo bucks and investing that money. And now they're driving around sports cars and all that. But I don't know. I just feel it's just, you know, a feeling of, am I behind? Let me ask you something honestly. At what age did you think you were supposed to have it figured out? Was it 22, 25, 30? And who decided that? I remember being younger thinking by 25 I'd feel solid. Like I'd wake up one day and just know who I was. Thought I'd feel established, confident, certain. And now instead, 25 feels like I have responsibilities mixed with confusion. You know, you're too old to blame for being a kid, but you're too young to feel secure. It's like a weird in between moment of my life, I guess. And that in between stage really messes with your head. Something that I kind of hinted at earlier. Um, Comparison, you know? Comparison really is the thief of joy, and it's a real killer. You scroll for 5 minutes on Instagram, and you see, you know, a reel of someone making $25,000 a month, um, what stocks to invest in, what credit card to get, and how they make this much money, and using AI to make money. And um, I was able to use this AI prompt to generate these videos, and they were able to generate me over $100,000 this month. And I have 5 different YouTube channels. And oh, by the way, there's a course in my description. Put a hand in the comments if you want a link to my course. But you know, it's just crazy. You see someone traveling Europe, your boy from high school is proposing to his girlfriend, is getting married, someone's starting a business, someone got promoted, someone's shredded to the gills, and your brain immediately goes to thinking, like, what am I doing? But I feel like this is the part that we forgot. We're comparing our everyday lives to someone's highlight reel. I feel like you don't see their debt, you don't see their anxiety, you don't see their doubts. You only see the filtered version of these people's lives. And so we start to measure our entire self-worth based off of these snapshots of people's lives. And, you know, it definitely starts to take a toll on you. And it definitely affects your mental health in a way because you feel like you're behind. And this negative connotation of thinking day after day after day eventually makes you believe that you're behind and that you're doing something wrong, which in turn makes you act completely different. And so this is something that I've been trying to change recently, and just one of the things that I feel like you should try to do as well. So here's something we don't say out loud as men. You know, I feel like many of us tie our identity to performance, and from a young age, it's be strong, be capable, be successful, provide, win. So what if you're not winning by 25, by 26, 27, by 30, 35, 40? It doesn't just feel like you're early, it feels like you're failing. And most guys won't admit that. I feel like we'll just grind or distract ourselves or act like we don't care, but internally, like we're measuring ourselves constantly. Whether it's based on income, muscle, status, respect. But let me ask you, what if your job disappeared tomorrow? Who really are you? If that title vanished, what's left? That question is pretty uncomfortable. And recently, I feel like this feeling of being uncomfortable is driving me to essentially change how I'm living and how I view life and how I view social media entirely. Like there's a pressure to be ahead, there's a pressure to have answers, a pressure to look established. I feel like your 20s really aren't supposed to be polished. They're supposed to be messy. You're supposed to try things, fail, change directions, outgrow people, outgrow jobs, get humbled. But I feel like social media erased the middle of this. We only see the success posts and not how many failed attempts it took before that. And because of that, I feel like we're the only ones that are struggling. But what if we're not behind actually? And what if we're just in our building session currently? Some people peak early, some people peak slow, or build slow, that is. And honestly, I feel like people that are slow builders last longer because you take your time, you create that strong foundation. You're not rushing through things. There's no cracks. You're fulfilling yourself by being a slow builder. And I feel like you have to choose which one you want to be. You have to either want to be the guy to blow up at 23 with the potential to burn out at 30, or you have the guys that are struggling until 28 and become unstoppable at 35. Like, you have to choose the person that you want to be. I mean, you could definitely blow up at 23 and become unstoppable by 30. But there's no need to compare, and there's no need to essentially put yourself in harm's way trying to do that when you have something that's building in a positive direction. I feel like the dangerous part about feeling behind is that you start to make decisions out of panic. You take jobs for status instead of growth, and you rush relationships because you feel late. You overspend to look successful, grind without direction, because you're trying to catch up. That chase is exhausting, man. But let me ask you something. If you are like this, are you building with intention, or are you reacting to everyone else? Now here's the shift. Instead of asking, do I have it all figured out? Ask, am I improving? Am I more disciplined than last year? More self-aware, more emotionally stable, more financially literate, healthier? Because I feel like that compounds. Having it figured out is an illusion, because being disciplined is real. Becoming resilient is real. And learning how to sit with uncertainty without panicking is maturity. So, what's the solution? It's definitely not just work harder. It's shift from outcome obsession to skill building. Kind of what I just mentioned earlier. Instead of saying, I need 6 figures by 25 or 30, think about it in a way like, I need financial literacy. How am I going to level myself up financially? Do I understand the intricacies of finance? And how am I going to help myself by understanding these things? Instead of another thing like, I need to look successful, I need consistency. Or I need everything to be solved, I need momentum. And what if for the next year, all of us focused on 3 things? Physical health, skill development, and emotional control. And honestly, try to cut out social media when you can. We have no more time for comparison. We have no more need to artificially give ourselves anxiety over this artificial timeline. We're just here to stack our days. And these are disciplined days. Because I feel like if you stack these disciplined days, 5 years from now, you won't be asking, why am I behind? You'll take a look back and realize that you were building this whole time. And so that is the process. Stop trying to arrive. Start trying to improve. Race your old self. Not the internet, not your friends, not the highlight reel. Because the only timeline that matters is whether you're stronger than you were last year. So now let me ask you this. Are you actually behind? Or are you just early in your build? Have a good day. Thanks for listening.